Thank you for your interest in session 3 of our 3-part series in building a relationship in government contracting. My name is Teresa Ebler, and I have the pleasure to share with you capability statement presentation, a government contracting resume for your business. In this session, we will learn how to make a powerful statement about your business. We'll share with you how you can demonstrate past successful experiences or perhaps performance with your business. We'll help you identify the why and how you can fulfill a company and/or agency's needs in the 5 key elements of a capability statement. So why would anyone want to work with the U.S. government? For one, it's the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world. Every year, the government awards more than $500 billion in government contracts. Of those prime contracts, the federal government must set aside nearly a quarter, 23%, to small businesses. SBA provides several programs to help small businesses win federal contracts. We certainly have a need for small, diverse, and dynamic suppliers in subcontracting. The goals for subcontracting are 30% go to small business, a minimum of 5% for small diverse business, 5% for women-owned small business, 3% for historically underutilized business zones, and the recently increased 5% for veteran-owned and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. So in this training, we're going to go over the basics of a capability statement. We'll go over the format that you should use for a capability statement. They'll be organized in 5 key elements. We'll go over some resources that can help you after this presentation. But I do offer one caveat, that this training and the resources provided is a one-size-fits-most, meaning that not all capability statements are going to be in this format, but a large majority, if not all, as you come across government contracting and building relationships, will use this format. So why do we have a capability statement? For one, it's a government contracting resume that provides a snapshot of your company. It's used as a comparison to other prospective vendors. This lets contracting officials and professionals know that you are ready to do business with their agency or company. It can be used as a marketing tool or door opener. It allows you to share how your business can provide a unique solution to an expressed agency need. And in many cases, and I see this becoming an even more increased request, is that it will be part of the bid process, whether you're responding to a source of sought or you're preparing a RFI or RFP. So here's the 5 key elements that we'll go over in this training. We'll call it what it is, a capability statement, core competencies, past performance, differentiators, and company data. For the format, your format of your capability statement should be no more than 1 page. If it's necessary, you could certainly have 2 sides, front and back. If you are using 2 sides, I would recommend having your company data section, which is your point of contact, on the front page, and have maybe your past performance on the second page. This is typically created as a Word document and saved as a PDF. We recommend that when you have your file name and you're saving the final version that you're ready to send to an agency or prime, that you listed something like this example: your company name, capability statement, and the date that you are the most recent date of your capability statement. So, element number 1, call it what it is. You want to make sure that you have capability statement prominently displayed at the top and front page of your capability statement. Make sure that this capability statement is a reflection of your branding, logo, or style. Perhaps your business has a certain color scheme, so try to integrate those color schemes with your logo and your style of your business. You'll also make sure that you have your contact information on the front page. Past performance. This section will pay a little bit more attention to because it's the one that is very important when it comes to how your capabilities can relate to an agency's needs. Make sure that you clearly display that you have past performance. This lets the agency know that you have experience in performing the capabilities that you talk about. What you want to identify. You want to identify the year of performance, list the agency and/or contractor that you've worked with, and describe the work performed. This allows for you to share the size and scope of your business and how you can accomplish a specific need. For past performance priority, you want to make sure that you first start with this order of priority. If you have experience that's internal to the agency, make sure you identify that first. If you have experience that's related to the agency, then that would be the second route of priority. And say we do not have any experience that's internal or related to an agency, then we can list other governmental entities that we've had experience with, whether it's federal, state, local, municipal, maybe it's a college or university, and that's fine too. And if you have none of those types of performance, then you can list your commercial contracts. So I'll go over a couple of examples that will help you with organizing your past performance. For one, this example is as a prime contractor. You'll list the agency's name, Department of Homeland Security, and then you'll provide a size, scope, and capacity of what that past performance project was like. Provided XYZ services to enable the effective use of ABC, thereby reducing the cost by an X dollar amount over a time span. It's great if you have the opportunity to name that contract vehicle and the dollar amount. It is optional, but you could give contact reference to name, title, phone number, and email. But that's optional. Some businesses do not want to provide those specifics. An important note to consider is that if you have past projects that you have completed, but they do not relate to your target agency needs, do not list them on your capability statement. Here is past performance example number 2. This is as a subcontractor. So here with this example, you list the agency, Department of Homeland Security, as a subcontractor to that prime. You would list that prime contractor's name, that you provided those services, the scope of that project, dollar amount over a time span. Say we do not have past performance as a prime contractor or a subcontractor, but we do have experience as an employee. Many retiring, transitioning military members decide that they want to go out and start their own business and work with the federal government. So it may be something like this. Department of Homeland Security, the agency, as an employee of the company, you provided these types of services. If you are a prior military member, you'll want to say past experience, list your role with the agency, and then you can list that performance that you have accomplished. Before we go to differentiators, I wanted to go to core competency, and somehow we skipped over this. Key element number 2. So before we go to 4, we're going to go to number 2. This section, the core competency, is what is your company skill set? What is the core of your business? What is your business built on? So here is a very common section for modifications, and it's frequently overlooked by businesses. But what you're trying to convey in this section is what is your business really good at performing? If applicable, and you're doing some market research like we talked about in session 1, you can modify your core competencies to a specific procurement opportunity. Other suggestions for core competency section is that you can add a company mission statement or a target mission statement towards a specific agency or prime. It's always recommended that if you can, to have your core competencies with bullet point keywords. It's very helpful and easy to read. Okay, now that we accomplished the section 2, the second key element of capability statement, we're going to go back to 4, differentiators. In this section, the goal is to define and explain what is different from your business. What sets your business apart from others? Is it the quality of your business, your cost, your schedule, Perhaps it's the capacity of your business. In essence, what sets your business apart from others? Is it features, benefits, specialization, awards? Were you recognized for excellent service? Maybe a security clearance? In other words, what makes your business better? I will share with you that this is one of the sections that is sometimes the most difficult for businesses when putting together a capability statement. So what I recommend is if you still have a challenge with putting together some differentiators, reach out to one of your customers and say, why did you choose my business over others? And that could be a helpful way to start guiding you with finding differentiators. I'd like to offer what I would call differentiator do's and don'ts. First, we'll go over the things that you should do. Research and know your customer. 5, 10, 20 minutes of research can save you a lot of time in the end and also allows you to make your capability statement targeted towards that agency or prime that you're wanting to work with. You can go to a website, look and see what their upcoming opportunities are or what they plan on bidding on, and what gaps does your business have to fill, and you could shape your capability statement around those gaps. Identify how your differentiators benefit your target. Proofread, proofread, proofread. I'm not sure if you're like me, but I can write an entire dissertation and still have typos. But if I have someone else that has a second view of my capability statement, they may find typos that I would not normally see. So share your capability statement with your local Apex Accelerator, or it may be someone in your office or a relative, and let them have a look at it so that they can make sure they can point out some of those easily missed typos. What sets apart your business from others? Is it your experience, certifications, trainings, relationships? Please note that 2 or 3 strong examples are much better than a long list of quasi-differentiators. Here's what I would call differentiator don'ts. Do not use your socioeconomic certification status as a differentiator that separates you from other businesses. Make sure that there's no fluff or buff in your capability statement. This should be a clear, concise document that expresses to businesses and agencies your capabilities. Save your superlatives for the class yearbook. Try to refrain from using best, worst, biggest, most. Those are very general terms. Instead, use the why factor. Why is your business the best? Why does your business stand out in a good way? And why does your business provide a better solution? Here's the 5th key element of a capability statement. The company data section is where you put specifics about your business. Perhaps you have more than one location. You also want to make sure that you have your contact information. If you have a list of equipment, you could put that under the company data section. Perhaps it's bonding capacity or a certain geographical area that you serve. Here you'll list contact information such as address, and make sure that you put a contact person on your capability statement. So if someone is interested in working with your business, they knew who that government or that point of contact is. Here's where you'll list those relevant codes, such as your unique entity ID and cage code. That lets agencies know that you're registered in SAM. Your North American Industry Classification System codes. That's specific to federal procurement. Your NIGP is state procurement or other relevant codes. If it applies to your business, you can mention your GSA schedule. Here is where you can also celebrate your socioeconomic status, whether you're a women-owned business, minority-owned business, hub-zone business, so forth. Here are what I would call some common capability statement offenses. Over the years, I've worked with several agencies and primes, and I've asked them, well, what are some common pitfalls that you have seen when looking at capability statements? So I summarized them here on this page. 1 is lack of customization. As I said earlier, a little bit of research goes a long way. Listing unrelated capabilities. In many cases, we're trying to throw a lot of different things that we're capable of doing just to try to get a relationship. A better approach is to be specific and strong behind what you do and find that specific agency that needs what you have and what you're good at. More than one page, it's certainly acceptable to have a front and back one page, but you don't want any more than that. Missing contact person information and missing or weak past performance. Here are some local resources to help you with building your capability statement. You can reach out to your Small Business Development Center or your Apex Accelerator. SBDCs are industry experts in helping with business planning, market research, and financial prep. And Apex Accelerators are excellent for helping you get involved with the governmental or defense industrial base. They'll help with federal, state, local registrations, certification preparation, and other procurement-related resources. Both of these resources in Illinois and most states are at no cost to you. Here's a review of our session. We want to make sure that you have a capability statement that puts your best business forward in a clear, concise, communicative fashion. We went over the 5 key elements of a capability statement, ensuring that you title it as capability statement, core competencies, what is the core of your business, past performance, differentiators, and company data. Talked about some common pitfalls and resources to help. Here's a couple of examples I wanted to share with you for your reference on what a capability statement would look like. The first 2 examples are just a way that you could organize your capability statement on one page. You'll also notice that there's a QR code in one of the examples. This seems to be an upcoming trend for a lot of businesses that you have a QR code on your capability statement that can direct them to your website so they could get more information and learn and appreciate your business. Here's some additional examples where it's just different formats and styles. And here are some that use images and logos in a little bit more of a prominent fashion. With that, we thank you so much for your time. I'll leave you with a couple more QR codes that if you are not in Illinois, you could certainly locate your Apex Accelerator that's nearest you. If you are in Illinois, you could take a screenshot to locate your Apex Accelerator here in Illinois. And say you're in the southwestern Metro St. Louis area, you could snap the final QR code, which is for the WIU Apex Accelerator program. We thank you very much for your time, and we hope that you have found the 3-part series in building a relationship in government contracting helpful to help you successfully build relationships.